Freddy Krueger, ladies and gentlemen, is a horror icon right up there with the likes of Jason, Michael Myers, Chucky. Hell, if there was a Mount Rushmore, Freddy Krueger's face would be up there. He is. Robert Englund played that character for more than 20 years. And when he played it, he was in his late 30s when he played that character and gone on to play it countless times. Congratulations also to Robert Englund. Got your star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You earned it. So congratulations. However, we have seen over time Hollywood try to recapture or remake Freddy Krueger, and it left some people with a lot of not a good taste in their mouth, or they said, oh, Mr. Jackie Earl Harley, he was okay, but he was no Robert Englund. That's the whole point about it. And now it's been said again that there's talks of, or there was an idea of an opinion of someone else pulling off Freddy Krueger. So I was reading an article, guys, on Deadline. Yeah, your boy be on Deadline a lot because that's a reliable source when it comes to casting and stuff like that. I don't look too much into other fake stuff like Cosmic News and all that other garbage. No, I don't buy any of that stuff. But on there, the director Chuck Russell of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Night Warriors, he basically was on a podcast and he started talking about an idea of another very well-known actor of playing the titular character of Freddy Krueger. And who is that character? Jim Carrey. That is right, y'all. Jim Carrey. Put that in your heads right now. Jim Carrey as Freddy Krueger. Let that sink in. Now, he gone on to say, basically, and Chuck Russell, he gone on to say, because he was the co-writer and director of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, which was in 1987, I believe. Yeah, 87? Yeah, I think it was 87, because I was 5 when that one came out. So yeah, he basically says, although Englund is the only Freddy, these are his words, to him, he has confidence that Jim Carrey could pull off playing Freddy Krueger after directing him in The Mask. I totally forgot Chuck Russell directed that movie, The Mask. Jim, in my opinion, these are his words again, Jim, in my opinion, could almost do anything if he puts his heart into it. He was on the podcast, Developmental Hell podcast, that's the name of it. For Jim to do it, we'd have to do something that was another leap in the Elm Street series. A little bit like what Wes Craven did with his very meta New Nightmare. I think Jim would only consider it, and I'd only consider harnessing Jim if there was a bold new direction for Elm Street. That's just part of the article. If I would say read the article yourself, but let's talk about that for a minute. Could Jim Carrey pull off right there? That's the main. Could Jim Carrey pull off Freddy Krueger? Could he pull that off? Is Jim Carrey a very talented character actor? Yes, he is. He is a very talented character, and there are many times where people only saw him as just being that comedy guy. But then we seen him get serious with some serious roles, but always go back to being what brought him to the dance. I've always looked at Jim Carrey as being a versatile actor. He could do a little bit of this, he could do a little bit of that. I don't think I ever seen him do horror, really. Correct me on that, but could he pull it off? I think he could. I think he could. The amount of effort he put into The Mask, the amount of effort he put into The Grinch, the amount of effort he put into Dr. Robotnik and Eggman was great. And there was another movie where he really went deep, and he looked creepy too. And I forgot what the name of the movie was. Clockwork. I can't remember. He had like old hair. He had like a long. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the name of that movie. I only saw it once because it had like a brother or sister, and the little baby. She was like real smart. I forgot the name of the movie. Correct me on that. He could. Again, when Robert Englund played the character of Freddy, we're talking about age. He was in his late 30s. I think he was 37 when he played that character. So we have to also put into account of Jim Carrey's age. And Mr. Carrey is 63 years old. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look it. Doesn't really look it. But he is. He's getting up there. He's not getting any younger. And a new direction is always great to hear something being said out public about a horror franchise, but how many times do we actually see it happen? We actually see maybe a new direction for a horror icon. The one I could think of right off the rip for me is Halloween, where they went in that new direction with Halloween, which they should have just ended it with 2018. They didn't need to go another trilogy. But where did they go with that? Basically saying this is another timeline broken off from that franchise. Instead of going 1, 2, and then 3, Season of the Witch and all those other. No, this was 1, 2, and then 40 years later, this is what's happening. So instead of Michael got caught. Basically, Michael got caught at the end of, and he's been in an asylum for all 40 years. So he's 40 years older. Basically, he's 60 years old, and he goes on another killing spree at 60, and now we catch up with Laurie, and she's very broken. She has PTSD. She's very hostile at times. She's always preparing for the coming of the boogeyman again. She's got a daughter, a strange daughter. The state took her daughter away after how she was raised. Things like that. That was a great direction for Halloween to go. And then they ruined it with the other two. They didn't have to do that. They had just ended it with 2018. That would have been fine. That's just me. So you really got to go into a different direction, with that. And I think the Jackie Earl Harley, I think I'm pronouncing his right. His run kind of somewhat went in a different direction, but what is the main purpose of Freddy Krueger? The Freddy he's that comes in your dreams. So you got to really play that up of okay, how do we eliminate that? Or do we not? We do know Freddy is not a good guy. He is a, you know what? I don't want to get in trouble, but we all know what he was. If you don't know what Freddy was yet, trust me, yeah. So you go into that direction. I could see what Mr. Russell was talking about, a different direction. But to say, could Jim Carrey pull off that character? I say yes, he could. I say yes, he could, and it would maybe even surprise even long fans like yours truly. Hey, look at that! He did it. He did that. But I also put into the count his age. He's getting older, and I'm not sure if Mr. Carrey wants to be playing characters like that at the age that he is, there was even talks he talked about retiring, so, but we know that he's in talks of playing George Jetson in the Jetsons live action movie and everything like that. But at the same time, for me, yeah, I would be all for seeing how that plays off. I mean, there are other actors I could see maybe pulling off Freddy, that I can think of off the top of my head, and one of them is Matthew Lillard. I think Matthew Lillard would play pretty damn good Freddy. I think he could pull it off too. I've been saying for years I wanted Matthew Lillard to play Cletus Cassidy, Carnage. When you go back and watch Scream, that first Scream, and he just acted so much like Cletus Cassidy. I'm like, yeah, that's Cletus. But no, they didn't go with that. Who did they go with Cletus Cassidy? They went off with, yes, Woody Harrelson. I love Woody, but he was not Cletus Cassidy for me. He was not Carnage. But with that being said, guys, how do you feel? Do you feel that Jim Carrey could pull off Freddy Krueger? Leave your comments in the section down below. I would love to hear what you have to think about it. Let's get into a conversation. And I will see you guys next time. Happy Halloween, because Halloween is right around the corner. And I thought it was perfect to put this out. I've been putting out a lot of horror content for the season. But outside of that, you guys take care. Deuces.